Hey, everyone, for Rental Roundtable number 57, we had on Steven Eisenstein. He's the owner of Classic Tents and Events here in Atlanta, Georgia, actually about 10 minutes from where I am right now. Probably could have done this in person. He bought the business 15 years ago, about 100 employees. They do a lot of big events here in Atlanta. They do Jimmy Carter's funeral. That anytime the Secret Service and White President comes down, they do those events. They do a lot of the big Atlanta Track Club events, which host the largest 10K in the world. A ton of different premium events, flicks, movies, shootings, Stranger Things, a lot of awesome stuff they do here. They lead on customer experience and why customer service is ultimately the most important thing that drives their success. We talked about their team and the importance of the culture. And for the first time on the show, we had someone juggle live. So watch the full episode and you'll see that. Really fun episode with Steven. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, everyone, welcome to the Rental Roundtable, episode number 57. Got on Steven Eisenstein. He's the owner of Classic Tents and Events here in Atlanta, Georgia. Steven, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
I realized that we're about 10 minutes away. I probably could have driven over to your office and sat on the other side of this, done this live, but here we are. We're very close here in Atlanta.
Well, I'll do this. I'll offer you a tour of the place whenever you're ready to come by and visit.
Maybe I'll just keep this. We'll just keep talking. I'll just drive down over there now. We'll finish the episode in person. We haven't done any in-person episodes, but at some point, maybe it's too easy with Zoom and everything. Well, excited to have you on today. We've had on people who are, obviously mostly equipment rental, sometimes a mix, equipment and event. We've had on Interstate Rental, who's event rental, but you're the second person we've had on who's purely event rental. And I think it'd be interesting to have your perspective. You're also very involved with the ARA, current ARA president of Georgia. Excited
Not
for the
president.
event.
No, past president.
Past president.
Yeah, there you go.
Board member. All right. Well, you're helping organize the ARA summer event in Georgia.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to past president, current board member.
There you
go. Steve, I'd love to just hear kind of your story, your background, how you got into rental. You've been doing this with Classic Tents and Events for about 15 years, I think. Tell me your story. How did we get here today?
Yeah, sure. Well, we got here today. I had a background in catering and restaurants. I grew up in the restaurant business. My dad owned restaurants and worked restaurants. Growing up, I wanted to be in the world of catering and hospitality. After many years in catering sales, exited that world and bought a business, bought a tent rental company that was 10 years old. So a woman was 65 and looking for an exit strategy, and we chatted, and I bought her business in August of 2010. So it was an awesome time. She had built a nice base. They did a lot of festivals, a lot of repeat events, and I saw a lot of potential there. And we were in a 12,000 square foot warehouse, and I knew that in order for this company to keep growing, we needed to move to a bigger place. And so in 2013, we moved to a bigger place and added more inventory. And as the years went on, we grew our team here, and we've grown what we do. And it's been a fun roller coaster ride. I'll tell you that. No dull moments ever.
A lot of interesting customers. I've effectively used your services. I do a lot of the Atlanta Track Club events, the Peachtree Road Race you put on, which has been awesome. You do a lot of movies as well. You're involved with Porsche corporate. So there's a lot of interesting stories here. I'm curious, why did you choose event rental to get into in 2010? You could have done anything with your life, I'm sure. What about this industry that was so attractive?
Yeah. So I basically, I thought of it as basically a banquet company, basically setting up it was like a service that people could provide that could go all over. And I basically looked at it as, how could I use my skills and things I've learned over the years to this business that's already up and running, has clients, and what can I add to the inventory that could expand, and what can we do to make the customer service experience better. And so we just basically refined all the different things that was already started, and brought in, technology, and brought in salespeople, and just a lot of different things that are just basic, taking care of people, listening to what they need, and making it happen.
Yeah. What's been most surprising getting into this? It's been 15 years from what you thought. You put your business plan together, you put the money together, buy this. What was most surprising when you got in that first couple of years?
I guess in the beginning, I didn't ever think I was going to get into structures, which are the bigger tents. And once I got into them, and once we bought them, I saw how great they worked and how great the market was. And I was like, why didn't I do this sooner? So probably just moving up into bigger stuff and not being, afraid of that.
And did you consider starting something from scratch? A lot, if you listen to some of the episodes, right, there are people who start from scratch, and there's a lot of people who do the what I call ETA, entrepreneurship through acquisition. You buy the company. How did you weigh the pros and cons of, starting from scratch versus buying an existing company?
Yeah, so I was looking at BizBash, on a website a long time ago, and
Yeah.
just looking at other opportunities. I didn't want to be at a liquor store watching, people just buy liquor all the time. I wanted to do something that was exciting,
Yeah.
something that, was never the same. And this fit the bill. I mean, this had a lot of opportunity because people are constantly renting things. It goes out for a long time sometimes, and uh, this the rental business is a good place to be, as you've talked to people that are doing it.
Everyone keeps saying it gets in your blood. It feels like I can assume at 15 years in, it's in your blood at this point. What about rental has been kept you here? I guess like why is it in your blood?
We enjoy making events come to life. Honestly,
Mm,
it's for us. It's changing it up a little bit each event and giving them something new and something different and
mm,
asking the customers how it went and then just listening to what they've got to say and figuring out how we could put our little imprint on someone's event and making it more exciting than it was.
mm.
So there's so many different things out there. So many great things that have come out of this business.
Yeah.
We watch other companies and what they do and other tent businesses, and so we basically look for ways to save on labor, look for ways to making people's day go better and smoother, and uh, offer things that people want to have in their events. So it's a no brainer. It's really just it's basically being a what's the right word here? Just making your event spectacular, little finding
Hmm.
ways to just make it enhanced and having if you look at the guest experience, what can you do to make their event, more positive than it could have been.
Hmm. We talked to Chad Wagner. He's 4 locations in Minnesota. So they're one of the groups that does a split between equipment and event.
Mhm.
And I asked him why do both, and he's like, well, equipment's great business, but event, that's where his passion is and the purpose, because like you're putting on events that are impactful to people's lives, right? It's usually milestone moments, highlight moments, and being part of that's an honor. Sounds like that's sort of what drives you. Obviously, the rental side of the business is good. It's a good underlying business, but you love the part of, it's fun and it's impacting people in a positive way. You're bringing joy to people.
It's so true. It's fun. It really is. It's nice. And we have a whole team of people that enjoy what they do as well. We try to hire people that have similar traits and personalities and values. And when everybody's rowing in the same direction, it's a lot more fun to run the ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the hard part of your job, I'm sure. I mean, on the culture side, like, what do you look for when you're bringing people in to your organization? Before we even got on the call, briefly we talked about software side. You were like, I'm not really sure, which tells me you actually trust your team, right? You have a good team that's probably running the business. How have you built that over time? How important have the people in the organization been to your success?
Jeez. I mean, it's all about the team. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, in 2016, I hired a general manager here, and it's made such a huge difference. He's brought
Mm,
in a great culture. We give people these tests before they actually work with us, and it asks, what kind of person they are, what skills they have, how they think about things, and it basically tells us their score of. Do I have it on my desk? Yeah, it's basically like a personality test and it kind of tells us uh, what kind of thinker they are and how we can relate to
mm.
them. And so basically, we have a test before they even get hired, and it just sees how they're all going to fit in properly. So it's really all about our culture here. We do a lot of nice things we invest in our people here. And so if they're going to be on our team, we want to make sure that they're the best people that they can and give them as much opportunity to grow and develop here.
It seems to be a common theme with the really successful rental business we talk to, especially groups that have longevity, is how important the culture and the team is. Like, what are some tactical things that you do to build that culture? People say culture, but you have to work towards that. What are some of the things you guys do?
We do a lot of trainings here. We
Hmm.
built a room in 2019, and it's on the second floor of our building here. It can hold about 40, 50 people at a time, and we do a
Hmm.
lot of trainings in there. And so we do a lot of company-wide get-togethers at least once a quarter, and we normally like to do something fun and different and keep them motivated. We've done that also for our managers as well,
Hmm.
and we like to basically, keep them together and grow them as a team and have them problem solve together. And we've had some really neat interactions from it, and it really helps them all together grow.
So you're investing in the training. You're investing in being together with events. I want to go back to what you said with hiring the general manager in 2016. I assume before you hired that person, you were probably effectively in that role. Is that fair to say?
It was, and it was impossible. I couldn't. There was just so much going on all the time, and I was like, I need help. I need somebody who has. I needed a police person that could say no. I wasn't good at. I was a soft-hearted person. I was offering too many discounts too quickly, so I'm like, I need someone stern that can't do this. You know?
Yes, I relate to that. I have a COO who's like runs the business, and I'm doing the podcast here. It's good to have a good partner. What made you realize that you needed that role? Because that's probably a big decision to make.
Well, I kept seeing our numbers were growing, our team was getting bigger, and in order to keep up with everything, we really needed some more structure, more SOPs, more processes and procedures just all put in place and followed.
Yeah, so you guys are growing, starting to burst at the seams, started to realize you needed that operational help. How was it? How hard was it to find that person? I mean, finding great people is hard, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I hired a recruiter, and
Hmm.
he helped me to put the word out and to put it all around. And this person didn't come from the tent world; they came from logistics, and so we had to think outside of the box. Anybody can learn how to put up a tent. You can be taught how to do that, but you can't. You can't be. In order to find the right manager that could help with taking care of all the right things going on here, you needed somebody who could handle a lot of things at one time. So really, logistics is really where we're at. We're a logistics company, realistically, with the tent product and other services that we provide to go with it. So really, most tent companies are logistic companies when you look at it.
Yeah, and there's been like sort of a debate when talking to other rental groups about like when you're hiring people, how important is industry experience? How important is equipment rental or event rental experience? There's some people who say it's the most important thing in the world. Some people say you hire for attribution. You can anyone can learn rental. It sounds like you got someone with logistics background, but maybe the right character, the right maybe growth mindset. What are like the characteristics for someone listening to this episode thinking about, all right, I need to take the next step. I need to hire an operator, an operations leader. What are the things that I should be thinking about and looking at when I'm trying to find that right person?
Good question. Good question. So I would say somebody who's really understands all the big picture and then can understand how all the little details, how important they are to come together to make it all work. So somebody who understands, the global world and then can come down and manage, and understand every little position and what all they have to do in order to get that job done. And
Those people
understand all the
hard to
different.
find.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't easy, but I'm so glad we did, and we've come so far since then. So it's great. I'm very lucky.
Yeah. Are they still with you guys today?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then on the retention side, that's the other part is like we can find great people, but we can't keep them, right? Because whatever reason they're leaving for an extra buck somewhere else, or like I'm gonna just kind of harp on this a little bit more on the culture side. Like, what do you do once you find the great people? How do you retain them and get them invested? Now it's been 9,
Yeah.
10 years with this guy.
So when they start here, they see that, hey, look, you could be here for this position. You can move to this position. We tell them all the different things that you could grow to do. And honestly, we've got a insurance program for people that, health insurance has that we pay 100%. We've got
100%.
a 401k option, we match. We take, at Christmas time, we have a huge holiday party for everybody with the guests. And then again, like I said, we do quarterly events as well. So there's a lot of great perks. And then on top of that, a lot of times customers or clients give us tickets to events. So we've got a little perk that we can give as well. So a lot of times we offer them to clients, and sometimes people that work here get to enjoy those events as well. So there's no 2 days that are ever the same here. We have a lot of interesting clientele, and we've got a lot of customers we've retained ever since we walked in the door when Ria was running the business. Some of her customers are still here today, and we've added a lot since then as well. So it's also like putting yourselves in the guest shoes and figuring out, if you were a guest, what would you want to have at your event? And so we partner with a lot of different companies that offer a lot of different things here to make events very unique. And so it's really Atlanta's got a great hospitality scene, and there are so many awesome caterers and so many wonderful venues here in the city. It really makes it even more exciting to run, a rental business.
Well, I love to hear that. I mean, you're putting yourself in the shoes of the customer. You're starting with the customer experience, and we hear that sometimes from rental companies, but they don't always think about it that way. They sort of think about, how do I get this equipment turned around? How do I hit my utilization numbers? Whatever. But they know customer experience is important, but they don't say that's the most important thing necessarily. You're saying that's like the number one thing that drives you. That's like top of mind. How do we always improve the guest experience? How do we improve the renter experience? That's almost like your
If
obsession.
they're not happy, they're going to go elsewhere. And there's other competition here in the city. We're not the only tent company that does what we do.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that they're happy and we go above and beyond where they want to be. And we want to retain our customers. And also we want them to refer other, friends of theirs to us as well.
So I think a lot of
Lot.
people would a lot of people would say customer experience, is important. Like, how do you guys operationalize that? Day in, out. You've run the business 15 years. It existed before that. How do you actually make that a reality, especially at scale?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is honestly ask the customers after their event, how was your experience? Tell us,
Mm.
did we do everything correct? If not, where can we improve? What other things, would you wanted to see? So we send a survey out and we take that very seriously.
It's like
Google reviews in this day and age are very important. A lot of people base their decisions on who they're going to go with before they even, make that decision by a lot of different things.
Are you tracking NPS scores or like granular like net promoter scores, or is it free tab? I'm just curious how you actually like taking that data, and are you being able to like objectively track the success over time?
That is a great question, Kyle, and I have not a good answer for you there.
Fair enough.
I know we take in the data, but I don't know what our net promoter score is, and I'm not really quite sure how to figure that out. But maybe that's something you can teach me about.
Yeah, well, that's just what, there's many ways to skin a cat, as they say, right?
Yeah.
There's many ways to see. I mean, I don't think you need help necessarily understanding if your customers are happy. I mean, asking them how you did, where can we improve? The qualitative part is really important. I think the net promoter score is effectively like, how was your service? No, how likely are you to refer us to a friend, right? 1 to 10. 8, 9, and 10 are positive. 7's neutral. 6 and below is negative. So you take effectively the positive scores minus the negative ones, and you get some number, right? So a net promoter score of a 0 is pretty bad. You can be negative, right? Apple, Costco would be high on the net promoter score. But if you could do that scale, that allows you to say, look across, 6, 12 months at a time, by location, by rep, by renter segment, you can start to see how the trends do objectively. However, like, people fill surveys out really quickly. You still miss the subjective part. So I would just say it's important, but it's just one element of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
We do that for like on support tickets. How is your service, right? Again, it's just one data point. And reality is most people generally, if you solve their problem, are happy.
Sure.
So that's just one way to do it. But you mentioned competition. Like, how would you say you're different than your competitors? If someone's looking at you and 2 or 3 other competitors and you're giving their pitch, how would you say Classic Tents and Events is different?
So it's really about our customer service. It's about our years of experience delivering what we do. The guys and our team know exactly what they're doing. So we make sure that we've got the layouts when we get to the place that we're going to, and we lay out our equipment really quickly and efficiently. We use something called a Tenox. We have several of those in our fleet. It's basically an Avant. It's like a articulating forklift out in the field, and it's a Swiss Army knife. It's got a lot of different attachments that it can be put on. So we drive our tents, we and the ground with it. We move our heavy cement ballast with it. We push up our 100 wide, 80 wide pole tents with it. We basically have invested in our people, and that's really the difference. When you have us work with you, you're making sure that your event's safe and that it's put up correctly and it looks beautiful. So we own a washing machine here as well, so we're really observant of the meticulous vinyl that's clean and it looks presentable. So we spend a lot of time in the washing area with our equipment, make sure the walls are clean and that tents are looking good. So we try to rotate older tents out of our inventory. So, you're paying for a really good setup. You're paying for the years of experience that we have.
And based on the clientele we've talked about, these are top tier. I mean, I live in Atlanta. I could tell people these are the top groups to work with. It's the Atlanta Track Club. I think it's the second largest running group in the country. They put on the largest 10K in the world, which you guys help with, right? Porsche, all the movies with Netflix, etc.
So, and there's a lot of venues that we are parked in, like Atlanta Motor Speedway and Road Atlanta.
Yeah.
So like we work with these venues, and they each have a dozen events a year that they do. Events like a Stone Mountain Yellow Daisy Festival, Gay Pride at Piedmont Park. I mean, we do all the large. We're really one of the larger tent companies here in the city that can provide large inventory. So we can put up multiple events in one weekend and still have plenty of inventory available.
I think I saw on your LinkedIn a couple weeks ago they had the Atlanta City Summer Games. I think would you guys help with that with Noah Lyle? Did you see him
Absolutely.
down there? Yeah.
Absolutely. They had 200 meters of track laid down at Piedmont Park, and it was elevated, up to 80 feet high in some of the areas. But yeah, we did the tenting there, and it was cool.
If it's
Very
good
nice.
enough for a gold medalist in the Olympics, then I think it's probably good enough for most. So you guys are leading on customer service experience being top notch. I imagine you're probably not the lowest price, right? And are you okay losing deals on price? I imagine you probably are. You want to work with the
Yeah,
best and deliver.
honestly, we have overhead. We have fixed cost here every month. I mean, we have a 51,000 square foot warehouse,
Yeah.
96 employees that we're paying. We've got things that we have to take care of. But at the same time, we're not the cheapest in town. We don't want to be the cheapest. We've got we're in it for the long haul, but we're not the you're going to have a wonderful event. You're going to have a great experience when you work with us. Let's say that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's another lesson that's come up with a lot of groups is the is trying to compete on price, and really that's like a fool's errand. Like ultimately, like the independents that do great, they win on customer service, superior customer service. Sometimes that means taking a call at 2 a.m. and getting out there and fixing something. It just sometimes it means being reliable, being having great people, communicating well, doing what you're saying you're going to do. But if you do all those things, you should not be like the lowest price. And if you are, then it probably is indication that you maybe aren't delivering the customer service that people are expecting, right?
I mean, unfortunately, Mother Nature is not very nice, and so we've had events that 3 o'clock in the morning, windstorms comes and completely takes up their tent, knocks it over
Yeah.
upside down. We're there at 5 o'clock in the morning fixing it, repairing it. So there a 6 a.m. golf event could go on. So there's a lot of crazy things that go on with our business. Again, unfortunately, traffic accidents happen. We just had a truck flip over last Sunday on the way home from an event from a wedding in North Carolina. So unfortunately, a tire burst and the gentleman lost control of the truck and it flipped over. So unfortunately, bad things happen in this business. It's not easy, but at the same time, you got to have thick skin. You got to stay calm and stay collective and just think about what can happen. And thank God everybody walked away from the event all right. The driver's okay, but crazy things happen in our industry, and it's all about how you deal with it and handle it, and go to the next task.
Yeah. Especially with the storms here. I mean, in Atlanta, even today, a huge tree fell down our road, blocked the road off. I mean, that's like feels like all the time here in Atlanta with the storm. So you got to be on your toes. I want to talk about the customer expectations and how that's shifted potentially in the last 15 years. I mean, how has that evolved, particularly like with the use of technology? How has that changed things for what your customers are expecting of you?
That's a good question. Well, for us, it's a matter of us trying to stay on top of our technology so we can, offer them a better experience. So for us, we've specialized some of our own software. We created our own software that helps us to handle our national clients. So we have 2 clients that we deal with that we've created special software for them to go in there and utilize it. And so it's not only them that's using it, it's also the partners that are helping us put on those events that are also taking place. So like power, fencing, merchandising of their parts. So a lot of different people can be in and out of our software and all communicate together using it. So it's been quite helpful. And for us, it's just another great resource that we use to help our clients to get to their end result where they need, and also so they can look at it and understand how they're coming along on that project. So believe it or not, tenting requires permitting in a lot of these places. The permitting is harder than the actual setup and tear down of the tents. There's more politics involved. So unfortunately, across the country, there's not the same regulations across the board for everything. So some fire municipalities take things, some cities, have different rules. So a lot of permits have to be put in place. And again, because we've made this special software, we've got a place that permit can live on the website where people can access it and print it again if they need to, or show it to someone. So,
This is effectively like a customer portal you guys have built.
That's right, 100%. So again, I guess as the years have gone on, we've gone in and tried to upgrade our technology each year to stay on top of it to make, each year something a little bit more easy to work with. So more reporting, more organization, more just better tools that we can have in our tool chest.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. You guys have done that. We have not seen many rental companies have success building technology. Not that they couldn't. It's just it's a big thing. It sounds like you guys are able to do it. When did you realize you needed to build this customer portal? How long did that project take? Like, when did you get
Oh,
this
gosh.
launched?
So we're in 2025 now. I think we developed it in 2009 or 10.
Okay.
And we started it just to kind of keep our customer happy, as well as basically a place for them to stay with us,
Hmm.
to build the history there. And then a developer that we hired in the beginning, we changed to a different developer. So as years went on, we made it a little bit better for our own self. And now we're in like 4.0 version of this same software. We've upgraded it quite a bit and spent a lot of money there, but it's been a very great tool for us as well as the vendors who use it.
Do you think this customer portal help retain customers or gain new customers? Like, have you been able to, it's hard to track. Have you been able to see any ROI on why this has been important for your customers?
Um, for us, it's just a better way to keep ourselves in the know and
Yeah.
understand where we are in the project, because there's so many different pieces of the pie there. So a lot to keep up with, a lot of balls juggling in there at one time.
Is it equally then important for your team then for the customer portal? Is it also for your team operationally to stay
No,
on track of things?
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a win-win for both.
Yeah. You guys are pretty early on that. The customer portal is sort of becoming a hotter thing now, but if you guys have been on 15 years, that's been a while. Do you guys do any online renting at all, or is that something that you guys don't offer?
So we have on our website a request form,
Yeah.
but that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Once the request comes the next day, our staff comes in, they deal with whatever came in, and then we'll reply back to them.
Yeah.
As
So when I sort of talk to groups and look at sort of where technology is going, online renting is obviously something that's been happening. And then, but the newer thing is the customer portal. Like at the ARA show, at the Future of Rental, I don't know if you were at the ARA show, but they had 4 contractors, the equipment section, and they asked how important the customer portal was. And all 4 of them said either important or extremely important because it is a history of all of your rentals. You can see invoices, you can see statuses of things, you request issues and maintenance. And obviously, phone still works. You can text, you can email, you can call, but having that system of record, almost like the source of truth, like what is the, go to Amazon.com, go to your My Account page. You want to see what you ordered, you want to see how much it costs, you want to reorder things. It's interesting how important that's becoming now. And I think obviously the national players on the equipment side been pushing this out now for several years, but a lot of the independents and now the end users, the renters are particularly expecting this. They're saying, hey, where is the customer portal? I want to log in. I want to pay my bill. I want to see the status of this rental. That's becoming much more important. You guys have been on that for 15 years. You were sort of the
Well,
early adopters on this.
honestly, it's really been just for our national clients that are getting the service.
Mhm.
Everybody else is really through point of rental, POR.
Mhm.
But it's got ways that we can, send links and people pay it through the credit card services on point of rental. So, I'd like to say we're that good, Kyle, but it's only for select customers that we're using
Okay.
that profile for.
Got to be a big customer for Steven to get the real big customer portal, right?
Well, they're out there.
Yeah. Well, okay, but why not give it to everyone? Or is there reasons why you sort of gate it just to certain corporate users?
Just because of the logistics, with these national clients, they've got specific needs that are a little bit different than what we're doing for our regular customers. So it could be applied. It's just a little bit more time and procedures to be put in place in order to do it. But the clients that we have get what they need, and they don't really necessarily need all the extra fancy stuff. So
Fair
it's not
enough.
really, it's like above and beyond for some things.
Fair enough. How do you see customer expectations changing in the next 5, 10 years, right? So we've kind of, some people have online renting, customer portal, you can pay online, potentially. Where do you see this going next 5 or 10 years?
That's a really good question, Kyle, and I really have no good answer for you there. I think if we could just keep up with what we're doing now, then it will
Yeah.
work for the next 5 years. And if we need to make tweaks to it, we will. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting to see. Like, are you guys texting customers? Has that been important? Through your
So what
software,
happens
or I
is
mean,
on the
yeah.
logistics side, the day before the event happens, our logistics people will call our customer and tell them what time we're coming and let them know there's a time frame, a window.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't get through to them, we will text and tell them the same thing. But honestly, we don't really, if anything, the salespeople are more texting with their clients than we are, you know, any other way.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
I guess
What?
to answer your question, the people that are managing the customers, the people that are dealing with the customers face to face, they are texting customers back and forth. Uh,
Yeah.
different ages, different people, and different generations, communicate in different ways. So our younger people that are hired are communicating through that area.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen that. there's some people still want to call, show up in person. Some want to do the online renting. Some want to text. Right? Those are the different
Yeah.
avenues. Obviously, the next thing coming is everyone. I don't know if it's boom or doom, but AI. Right? Have you thought about that at all? How that would impact your business?
I mean, honestly, having a bot on our website to answer questions that, most people
Yeah.
have is probably easy to do.
Yep.
But I personally just like more videos. I want people to see, some past work that
Right.
we've done, some case studies perhaps, but our website lives and breathes, 24 hours a day. So most of the time, everything's on the website. People can utilize that and see what they need to figure out.
I think there's several use cases coming into rental software in the next 2 years. One of them, which would be like an AI chatbot, right? Because it doesn't sleep and it can be, you could have a chatbot today with pre-scripted answers, but like where the technology is today, if it can look inside of your inventory, it even knows that customer, it knows your pricing, your inventory, what would be think about like the smartest person you've ever met. That's sort of where AI is going to be soon, right? Being able to make recommendations potentially on the website. I don't think most people are going to use that, but like the younger generations are now sort of expecting that, right? They use ChatGPT for all their homework, for everything, right? I think as we kind of move towards this new world, you can sort of see like the evolutions of e-commerce, customer portal, texting. I think this AI hurdle is coming. One of the use cases is what you just described, right? Is like a chatbot on the website, right? That can even place orders for you potentially.
Yeah. Hey, look, anything that helps, I'm down with. I'm not opposed to it.
We'll see what happens. It's interesting. So I'm interested in some like the lessons you've had, or maybe fun experiences. Being in event rental in Atlanta. It's a big movie hub here. I think you guys work with Stranger Things. Do you have any like fun stories or anything that has been sort of a cool like this is not a normal day on the job sort of thing?
All right. So many different things pop in my head. I don't have one particular one that jumps out more than another. We get involved with a lot of different things. Jimmy Carter passed away in January, actually December of last year, and we were involved with his funeral. And it was something that we'd been planning for like 10 years. Every living president has to have a plan. And so we had a plan in place for a long time, and it didn't happen until, in late December last year. Uh, but basically, there's been so many different things. We've been sponsors at the Jewish Community Center at their book festival for many years, and every year they've got some great speakers that come. And so we've been sponsors and met a whole lot of neat people. We met the Fonz from Happy Days. We met Kramer from Seinfeld. Uh, we met a lot of interesting people through that, and we've been invited by a lot of location managers on set to a lot of different scenes. So Stranger Things, once they had a really neat scene, they wanted to invite us out to the Atlanta Renaissance Festival space, and we saw them filming this Fourth of July scene in the middle of October. We went to Wakanda. Wakanda was
Yeah.
filmed here in Atlanta. We went to some really cool waterfall scenes that were filmed over at OFS around the corner. I mean, we've been really lucky to come in contact with a lot of really neat people and a lot of creative movie makers that are, doing their thing. So there's no lack of cool experiences that we've had. It's, you know, some of the customers that we get to work with, have some really neat things that happen at their event. So we just enjoy what we do and just are glad to be in the rental business.
Yeah, those are cool experiences. On the Jimmy Carter one, so do you have to have like a plan ready for 10 years, and every year you maybe update it or refresh it?
Every like 6 months, we talked about it. It's something for a long time. But the Secret Service calls us anytime a president comes to Atlanta, and we're on a short list, of companies that are, checked off that are okay to work with. And so because of that, we get a lot of, interesting concerts that we work on, a lot of, NDAs that we sign because of different, things that go on. So we're lucky that we're not like Groundhog Day every day. It's never the same.
Yeah, I mean, with presidents and global movies, what's like if you get a phone call from a repeat customer, and that could be the Secret Service, could be Stranger Things, or it could be the Atlanta Track Club. Like, which customer gets you the most excited? Where you're like, I love doing this event. They're great to work with, super fun. Does anyone come to mind?
They're all unique. So again, we get to see some really neat things that go on in the city's calendar every year. A lot of high profile things. So it's just fun to look at the calendar and see all the different things that they're promoting for the weekend and know that we've got our hand or some sort of piece of equipment involved with it. So it's a great city. Atlanta's got a lot going on, and there's a lot of great planners and a lot of wonderful decorators and good, talented people that put on some really unique events. And we're just glad to be on their list, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, if you do any like really cool like golf events and you get some extra VIP pass, let me know because I'm a golfer and I'll maybe
Okay.
I get it back behind the scenes tour.
Fair
Um,
enough.
really cool what you guys are working on. I guess last topic, just briefly on the ARA. What's going on at the ARA level, particularly in the state of Georgia? We got the event coming up in July. What's top of mind for the American Rental Associations that kind of look through 2025?
Yeah. So this year we've been to a lot of different cities all over Georgia to kind of
Yep.
promote the American Rental Association. We were in Athens. We were in Savannah. We've gone just to a whole bunch of different great places and trying to find some new rental operators or not new ones, just people that don't know what's going on with ARA, just to get them
Mhm.
involved and make sure that they know all the opportunities and things that go on there. So July 11th through the 13th, we're going to be at Lake Lanier. We're going to be getting a tour on Friday at the Makita place, the Makita store location,
Mhm.
showing us all their different tools that they have that are uh, battery operated. And then on Saturday, we have seminars from 8 in the morning till about noon. We've got two great speakers and someone from ARA as well. So three great speakers coming. And one of them is all about marketing and SEO and websites. Another one is an event decor operator, Kathy Taylor from Your Event Solutions. And then we've got a gentleman from ARA talking about equipment theft, about equipment guards. So we've got some neat topics, and then we've got a lot of companies that have joined us as sponsors that are going to be displaying their wares and their information or to get out to the public. And we're excited and glad, Kyle. Actually, that's how we even come in contact. So thank you for joining us as a sponsor this summer as well.
Yes, very looking forward to it. The episode before this was with Carol Fontanez, the ARA Florida president. So they have their event. We're doing that one, Missouri, doing Texas this summer. We do California. I
Good.
love that. I love the state events. They're all different. And living in Atlanta, this one is like super easy. I don't have to get on a plane. I can drive up an hour to Lake Lanier, and looking forward to being there this
And
summer.
it's geared toward
It's always
kids
fun.
too, by the way. It's for family. So if you want to
I
bring
need
your
to bring
kid, Friday night for dinner or, in the afternoon on Saturday, there'll be some times where everyone can go out to the beach and, have some fun together.
We may have to do that. We brought our kids to the ARA Florida one last summer, and I'm not sure they were very helpful selling rental software, but they had a lot of ice cream, and we had fun.
Good, good.
Well, Steven, thanks for coming on today. I guess final question I'd like to ask everyone: best career advice you've gotten that's shaped your success at classic tents and events. And people always pause; they don't know the answer to this, but maybe some good career advice you've gotten that's really helped your success.
Totally. I mean, I guess the best thing I would say is stick to what you're good at. If you're not good at something, find somebody out there that can help you with that area. We're not always good at everything, and a lot of people think they have to do everything themselves, and that's not the case. So if there's something you're not good at, farm it out, find somebody who's good at it, and figure it out.
Warren Buffett would say, "Circle of competence." It's hard to be good at. It's hard to be good at one thing, let alone several things. So,
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Well,
All right,
Steven,
hang on.
thanks.
Hold on. I got a new toy, Kyle.
All right.
So I just recently got these.
All right.
Well, no, I only have the clubs. I don't know how to juggle.
Okay. I thought that would have been awesome if you could do a
with
lot.
you, Kyle. Hang on. All right, we got to back up enough so it works.
All right.
Not
That's
enough
awesome.
space. There we go. Much better.
I think we can officially say the first time we've had someone juggle on the Rental Roundtable podcast. You're the best juggler we've ever had on here, Steven.
I'm the only juggler, Kyle. Thank you.
Well, thanks again, Steven, for coming on. We'll leave on that high note. Thank you, Steven.
All right. Nice to meet you. Have a good day.